Well, I've been on the computer a lot. What do they call it? The net, and being a common man and putting out the kind of stuff I've been putting out and so on. I realised that common source intelligence actually keeps you pretty much up to date, but there are sort of backwaters of intense community, communication, with which I'm, sort of totally out of the curve, out of the loop with, or far ahead of. I'm not just sure which, but today I was listening to an advertisement, pardon me, a conversation between Alex Jones and this man called Joe Rogan, very nice young man, and his associate, whose name I didn't catch. And that shows how ignorant I am. Anyway, this was the first time I'd met them, and it was very interesting. They knew each other apparently many years ago, and I guess they're both from Austin, and therefore they're kind of tough guy Texans, but men with a heart, and obviously patriots in the best sense of the word, looking out for the best interests of the United States. And I guess if that means to say you've got to take advantage of people, well, I think they're getting over it. I think that people, certainly like Joe Rogan and Alex Jones, being great patriots and having come from dare I say, a tradition of steak eating and cow eating and I guess Indian chasing. What can I say? They have a mixed history of violent oppression of the people of the earth, and I guess we're all carrying some of that stain. However, moving on, the point is that the concept of competition, the concept of the mob, and clearly Joe Rogan is able to generate, control, and direct a mob, because the sort of language that welds this mob together is pretty fundamental and basic and scatological, and doesn't seem to me to appeal to some of the best qualities in people. But of course that makes me a snob. But no, it just makes me a man of a gentler age that has seen where war goes, and has seen where what can I say, misdirection of human energy goes. And it does go to violence, it does go to bloodshed, it does go to rape, it does go to devil worship, It does go down the hill to a darkness. I know for a fact this, okay, that the CIA reintroduced, did introduce, and it's all on record now, the punk period. And the punk period was immediately following and brought in an end to, really, exactly the flowers and beauty of the 60s, when a huge generation of young people were being exposed to some really seriously directed efforts at ending war. And then, of course, that was not desirable to the warmongers and the banksters who make their money from selling arms, because if you can sell people on war and if you can sell them arms, well, sooner or later they're going to start shooting at one another. I don't believe that's going to happen in the United States, because I think common sense will prevail. Now, I think that we really have to wake up to the fact that we're moving into a new age now. We're moving into an age of love, of harmony, and we're moving away from allowing the warmongers and the dirty tricksters and the banksters and all these old agencies of control and domination to have their way. And I think the truth sayers, the people that I seek to identify with, not simply because I recognize from 9/11 what a horror it was, but because I guess to a certain extent I had seen the misuse and abuse of power pretty much throughout my life, and certainly the struggle for sanity in the misuse and abuse of power was always within the ranks of the people who were supposedly running the show. And yeah, absolutely, there were sailors who did not want to buy any more arms. There were admirals who did not want to buy any more arms. They wanted people to begin to withdraw from the genocide, the desire to kill off humanity on a grand scale that somehow or other infected the planet. And as far as I can see, it was a build-up of all the bad stuff that had gone before. And I think what we have to recognize, perhaps, and it would be wise before we get into any more conflicts in this coming new age that is we're getting now from historic sources, to say, yes, we are entering this new age. It will be an age of peace. It will be an age of a recognition that Father, Son, and Mother Earth are a chemistry. We are products of that chemistry. We are loved by that chemistry, and we have to learn to love one another as a part of that chemistry. We're all in the same soup together. For a long time, I've had up on the net something it's been up a long time. I don't know how long now, but certainly before 2002, maybe earlier. But anyway, it's up there for a while. And it's called the Caretaker Philosophy. And I started something what I call the Caretaker Community. And I was the only member. But I preached a lot. People now are waking up to the fact that is our essential biological and useful role on the planet, is to take care of it, to take care of the mother, to find ways through our technologies to clear up our idiocy. And one of the finest ones I've heard now about, and apparently it's been about for a long time, but because it's one of those things that I guess would change everything for everyone's well-being, that would be not in favor, of course, with the genocidal unities, crazies. Excuse me. I hope I don't offend anybody. But people have to realize that the divine will, that is the will of the mother and the father entwined, the power of nature, is infinitely more conscious and more powerful than very, very many people believe. I think if we begin to open our minds to healthy relationships with all nature, we find that all nature is at least alive and awake as we are. And that when we begin to give that quality of all-knowing, all-caring, all-loving, all regenerative style of conscious awareness to all things begin to take on a presence and a dynamic and a cooperative mode that makes our life a lot easier. And an attitude of gratitude for that result is really a very positive thing too. Further than that, yes, we have to put down fear. Mr. Rogan and his friend apparently have had a viral effect upon people who follow the net, and I'm going to look him up now. And from a totally ignorant position, what I saw with Alex Jones was very interesting. Alex Jones, of course, has been way ahead of the curve. Well, he was a lot behind the curve of a lot of us, but he may have got it from us, I don't know. But anyway, as a young man, 38-year-old, he picked up on those of us who were spreading the word of what was going on, to the extent that we had been, to a greater or lesser extent, victims of that, and even engaged in aspects of it, certainly communication, broadcast, and so on, and passing around messages of the infamous behavior of the governments. And there's a huge body of whistleblowers out there who've buried themselves. And just as I started talking about before, more positive things, I mustn't go down some of those dark paths. but there is a lot of forensic evidence to put a lot of people in the darker places. Anyway, I'm not even going to go there. What I'm saying is essentially that on the issue of restructured water now apparently is engaging the what I guess will be called the tantric or the spiritual energies that we are now beginning to approach. And I've mentioned before the book "Ye Shall Be as Gods" by oh dear, I keep forgetting the man's name. But a Jewish psychologist, a very deep and philosophical thinker, and he did not mean that in the sense that we should be any more ever than children of the grand order divine. But as we recognize that we are children of the grand order divine, then our creative essence can find expression through kindness, through cooperation, through sharing, through bringing more power to the necessity to effect an egalitarian state where we're all equal and different. Purpose, Principles program. Might be interesting for you to check out the caretaker philosophy. I did not do this entirely by myself. I had the cooperation and input and help from a man called J.T. Cooper, who I've long been associated with. He's a very fine artist. Anyway, not being an artist, being a common man, philosopher, which is a form of art, of course. Gotcha. Love you all. Okay, thanks. Yeah, I'm going to look up Joe Rogan, and then I guess I'll be as well informed as the rest of you. Very interesting to see the view of these people.